What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Me TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and today, y'all, we're doing something new. Now, I know I've been talking about this show, so hopefully I can get the second episode done with this one as well. If not, it'll be coming out on a separate recording. But today, y'all, we're going to be discussing The Residence. That's right, y'all. This is season 1, episode 1, titled The Fall of the House of Usher. I hope you guys have had a wonderful start to your week. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get into the synopsis real quick, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So this one can actually be found on Netflix, and this one is by Shonda Rhimes, y'all. Now, if you know anything about Shonda, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, okay, need I say more? Y'all, she's amazing. So hopefully this one does not disappoint. So the synopsis for this episode is: at a congressional hearing, the story of a mysterious White House death and the brilliant detective hired to crack the case begins to unfold. So as I told y'all, I had already started watching this show. My friend was like, it's moving kind of slow through like episode 3. But I haven't heard any updates since then. But to me, you got to lay the groundwork. So to me, it started off pretty good. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So we open up the show with a few glimpses into the last 24 hours of our victim, A.B. Winter, who is the chief usher presiding over the White House. So he's considered the house manager over the residential side where the family stays, right? So all of the operational stuff when it comes to like hosting parties, getting the family whatever they need, making sure that all of the personnel is taken care of while they're working. He's over all of that. So he's got a pretty big job. So he's walking through the White House ensuring that every box is checked before tonight's event kicks off. And he ends up getting a phone call from a mystery person. Then somebody enters his office while he looks hella stressed. We don't see who it is though. And finally, we see a mortified woman screaming her head off after finding his body in the billiards room. So this is starting to sound like we setting up for a game of Clue. I love it. Side note, I love how they shot that scene traveling from another wing of the White House all the way to his body, y'all. They had to travel quite a ways. It was like the cinematography from No Good Deeds. It kind of puts you in the same mind frame. So I just love when they do shots like that. Also, I'll look it up later. So we fast forward to the hearing regarding his death. And so I'm not going to tell y'all when we end the hearing part of it because they go back and forth quite a bit. But we fast forward to the hearing regarding his death when we're introduced to Jasmine Haney, who's replaced AB following his death. Y'all, Jasmine is being played by our girl Beth from This Is Us. I love her. And so they're asking her softball questions initially, and we get a flashback to the night of AB's death, where she's drinking on the clock in a room where that sort of thing is kind of like prohibited. As far as like her job goes, she ain't even supposed to be in that room drinking, especially during a state dinner. So one of the other employees, Rolly, he comes to check on her and he was like, girl, what is you doing in here drinking? Don't do something that you regret. And she was like, it's too late. I already did. So I wonder what that means. And then an agent comes to grab her to take her to speak with Mr. Hollinger. We just gonna call him Harry because I don't really like him like that. So his first name is Harry. His name is Harry Hollinger. And he ends up telling her that there's been this incident. And he wants her to go spread the word to the second and third floors are off limits to everybody. Okay, no exceptions. And so she was like, why are you assigning me this task? Because this is above my pay grade. Okay, now I wanted to be the chief usher, but clearly after tonight, I don't see that happening for the foreseeable future. So you need to find the chief usher who is AB Winter. And they was like, girl, no, actually, you are the chief usher. And so they step aside, him and the other guy, and she's able to see AB's body laying on the floor. So as she steps on the elevator to do as they ask her to, we get another flashback of AB giving her the news that he suddenly had a change of heart about retiring because he was supposed to be retiring in a couple of weeks or maybe like a month or so. And after all of the craziness that has happened tonight, he was like, yeah, no, I ain't going nowhere because I can't leave the house like this in shambles. Okay, I'm not going to do that to you. I'll be here for a few more years. And so after he steps off the elevator, y'all, she screams in utter frustration. She is so frustrated because she just had this job. Y'all, she has been working there as the assistant usher, I believe she said, for the past 11 years. And so she already had it. That's sort of kind of like, you know how like you have money already like spent in your head before you get your check? That's what she was banking on. She already had that position in her head. She was ready to tell people what to do. Not saying that she can't do it already since she's the assistant, but you get a lot more responsibility, right? So she already had it in her head. And so for him to be like, I changed my mind, that had to be upsetting. I smell a motive. Now, in the present, she runs into another employee that's finna take a drink to Mrs. Cox, but she turns her around and says, no, girl, you can't do that. Now, Miss Cox been asking for this drink for quite some time, and she was like, girl, what did I say? Stay off the second and third floors. Thank you. And so she goes to the rest of the employees to relay the message to all of the other departments. And by the time she get back to the third floor, more people have joined the party. And this going around, not only do we have Harry Hollinger, who is one of his besties, and he's also serving as an advisor to the president, but we also have Secret Service agent Colin Trask. We also have FBI Director Wally Glitt, Irv Samuelson, who is the head of National Park Police, and one more uninvited guest pops up. The chief of the local police district, Larry Dokes. His real name is Lawrence, y'all, but we call him Larry around the way. So everybody is pissed that he's here, okay? Out of all the alphabet boys that we got in the building, we result into Metro PD. And so he was like, I mean, this is still my district, so you gonna let me work or not? And so he ends up telling them that he's got a detective that's gonna be working the case. And so they was like, okay, well, where's she at? Y'all, she out there in the field. Her name is Cordelia Cup, to be specific. Now, she's on site. She doing her thing, but y'all, she's birding right now. She's outside birding, which is, I guess, short for bird watching. And she is very good at her job. Like, she's like Sherlock Holmes or some shit like that, y'all. So, very highly sought out, very highly respected in her field. She's got a brilliant mind. And some brilliant eyes too, because she is heavy on that bird watching thing. So Hollinger is incensed. He's definitely putting 100 on 10, but thankfully they give it back to him, which is just as good. Okay, he is constantly like throwing these tantrums. He's very condescending. I just don't like him. So Cordelia finally joins them, where he's quick to offer his opinion that he believes that AB committed suicide. Sir, do you have any sort of formal training in investigative work? No? Oh. Okay, well, unfortunately for you, your opinion holds no weight at this time, so you can go ahead and back. We won't be needing your services. Thank you. And so she gives the scene a very thorough once-over and learned that all the doors and the windows were locked. So what happened? So she goes to speak to Miss Cox, who we learn is actually the president's mother-in-law, and she can't stand the president at all. She don't even speak his name. It's one of them he who shall not be named type of things. So she said that she was watching TV while she was waiting on her drink that she had ordered a while ago when she heard a thump, right? So as she's opening up her door, she heard another door close, and that's when she saw the body. Now, normally she's not a screamer, but some instances call for extra projection. Like that time when she found her husband dead in bed. Now, she said that she had went to work, y'all. She had left him in the bed. Apparently, he had died probably the night before, because she said that she was trying to get, trying to plan them. She was trying to get some things started, and he was pretty inactive from the giddy up, but she was hoping tonight that she would get lucky. Well, she didn't get lucky. So the next morning she had went and got ready for work, y'all. She came back and he was still in the same position that she left him in that morning. And so then she realized that he was gone. But she says that she remembers the time precisely that she heard the thump because she looked on her clock, y'all, and she's got one of the biggest digital clocks that I've ever seen in my life. And the clock said 9:57. So she ain't lying about that time. Now, after speaking with her, Cordelia gets the layout of the floor from Jasmine, which includes a room for the president's brother that's also on that same floor where AB's body was found. Now, the president's brother's name is Tripp. Also residing on that floor, and he didn't want to say nothing at first, y'all, was Harry. Well, ain't that a quinky dink? And so she was like, you didn't think to mention that you was staying on this floor? And he was like, yeah, just like I didn't mention to tell you how long I brush my teeth for or which socks I wear, this, that, and the third. He's just a smart ass. I just don't like him. He don't feel like he should have to answer any of her questions that she may have, nor does he have the time to right now, because there's a very important state dinner happening with the Australian diplomats downstairs right now as we speak. So he just wants to get this over with, tied up as nice as possible, so there'll be less scandal surrounding the story after the word actually gets out. And I was like, you just don't have no regard for human life. You don't have no type of empathy for this man. All you worried about is what's happening downstairs. Cut it out. So Cordelia goes to examine the body, where she finds what appears to be a suicide note in like his little breast pocket there on his tux. And the men are relieved. And dare I even say happy. Because now they can go back to that damn party and deal with this in the morning. Like I said, just no respect for human life whatsoever. Y'all need to get that same treatment when it's y'all time. So Cordelia wants to come too. And so Harry was like, yeah, no. And she was like, actually, yes, I'm coming. Because again, your opinion don't even matter. But she says she gonna come down there too to see what she can see, because there is no way that AB committed suicide. He's got bilateral slit wrists, but they're not even at the right angle to be self-inflicted. Not only that, but there are no hesitation marks, which are pretty common in suicides. There are also, there's not nearly enough blood surrounding neither one of those injuries, okay? But most importantly, out of that part of it, there's no knife to be found anywhere near his body. So if he did this, where's the knife? You say he committed suicide? Where? Where is it? Where's the weapon? Oh, okay. Gotcha. So she pokes around in his mouth a little bit, and she feels this ulcer. And not only that, but she can tell that his face is a little swollen. And so she suggests that he probably was poisoned. She also felt a wound on the back of his head and noticed that there was blood all over his shirt that wasn't even his blood. Then she realized that that ain't even his shirt that he got on. So somebody done redressed him. Okay. Yeah, so you were saying this was suicide again. How? So she believes that he was killed elsewhere and drugged there, because the billiard room is not really your ideal place to end your life. I mean, who wants to do that? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to be comfortable. But we're also introduced to FBI Special Agent Edward Parks, who's there to make sure that the investigation goes smoothly. That's what he says. Now, he wants to be able to provide her all of the resources that she needs, but again, we know that he's just there to ensure that she don't ruffle too many feathers. That's it. Now, while on their way downstairs, Jasmine gives her the rest of the White House layout. Now, there's 4 floors. You've got the basement, the main floor where everything happens. And then you've got the 2 above that for family and offices. It's about 100 full-time employees that work there majority of the time. They do have some contract people there tonight. It's about 30 of them. Okay. So it's about 130 staffers, 120 to 130 staffers. And then they went to go find Lily, who is the she's like the social event secretary or something like that. She's the social event coordinator, y'all. So she do all of the social events pertaining to the White House. And according to her, there are 141 people in attendance for tonight's event. And so Cordelia is looking her up and down, y'all, just making her feel all types of awkward. And so, of course, she wants more answers as to why her and Edwin are there, but Jasmine is not. She can't provide those answers just yet. Nobody can tell them what's going on with AB. So Lily was like, man, I've been looking for AB for a hot minute and I ain't been able to find him. Jasmine, have you seen him? And she was like, nah, I ain't seen him. So she doesn't really, Cordelia, doesn't really notice anything out of the ordinary while she's downstairs. We do see Kylie Minogue on stage and she's performing I Just Can't Get You Out of My Head. That song. Y'all, did she sing any other songs? I really did like that song. But I feel like she's... How long ago did that song come out? Anyway, y'all, that's not the point. So she's downstairs singing, and in the front row, there's this lady sniffling and sneezing her life away. All right, poor little lady. So she doesn't notice anything out the ordinary down there. So they end up taking the scenic route back to AB's office. So they go through the basement, right? And of course, you know, you still got people asking where AB is because they still ain't seen him. And turns out they got a little bit of everything down there. You ain't gotta go nowhere to get what you need because they got a whole damn shopping plaza in the basement. Do you hear me? They got a dentist office down there. They got a floral shop. They got a chocolate shop down there. They got a bowling alley, a furnace. They got everything down there. All you missing is a clothing store. But that's why you got personal shoppers, right? So they ended up passing a disgruntled florist and bump into the same lady that was taking a drink up to Mrs. Cox earlier. But at this point, she seems a little bit sauced. Okay, so maybe she guzzled that drink down. So she learns just about, at this point, anybody could have knocked off AB because virtually all of the staff have access to the second and third floors, including Jasmine. And for the second time, she notices Jasmine fidgeting with her hands when she's asking her all these random questions, right? Maybe it's just a nervous tick for Jasmine. I don't know. And so we find out that Marvella, one of the head chefs, has been missing for about an hour. And Jasmine mentions the library was AB's favorite room in the house, right? He'd go there before and after his shifts every day. And he had read damn near all the books in the library. And it was a lot of books, y'all. A lot of books. So they make it to the office. I'm sorry, before they go to the office, they're still walking through the basement. And she's asking about all the different checkpoints. So apparently there were 5 different checkpoints that were there. You've got 2. It was 2 for something and then 3 for like cars or something like that. And then like 2 personals. All of the checkpoints had FBI agents, but you know, they already pre-screen you before you even get to the checkpoints, right? So they just verifying who you are one more time. They just like checking your ID, right? Before you get into the club. And so as she's telling her about the checkpoints, we also learned that there is only one entrance for the staff through the basement. Okay, yes, I guess other people can come through there, but this is where the staff is supposed to come through. Now, they're walking through the kitchen when Cordelia notices that there's a knife that's kind of like tilted. All of them are like lined up. So they've got, it's not a knife rack, but it's like a knife rack before the wall. So all these knives are lined up in a perfect row, except for this one that's kind of like slanted. It's like that slanted picture that you tried to hang and you had it right at first, but then it tilted. That. And then not only did she notice that, y'all, but there's a damn chef sitting on the floor. He looked dazed and real sad. Not even dazed and confused, but just dazed and sad. Like something bad just happened. Peculiar, but okay. Not, you know, Cordelia is an odd bird herself. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because she's very intelligent, very smart. It's just, you know, she's an acquired taste for a lot of people. So then they finally make it to AB's office, and Jasmine doesn't want to go in. I don't know why, but she just doesn't initially. So Cordelia and Edwin go in, but as soon as they come in, y'all, why is Harry in there rummaging through his stuff? Why? And so he was like, oh, I'm just trying to make sure that he doesn't have any like political documents in here. Why would the chief usher have political documents in here when he's not even involved in that type of world? Why? So Cordelia was like, you're definitely impeding on this investigation. I'm going to need for you to exit stage left now. And so he ends up leaving. And before he leaves, he was talking about, this is bigger than you. Okay, I'm not sure where else you have worked at. And honestly, I don't really care. But the White House is a whole different ball game. This is bigger than you. And she was like, yeah, obviously the White House is bigger than me because I'm inside the house, dummy. Now get the hell out. So he ends up leaving out, right? And they ask Jasmine to come in. When she does, they have her glance around the room real quick. And we get another flashback of her talking to AB as he's finna get ready to pass the torch to her. Okay. So apparently he had told her that he was finna get ready to retire. He's having her look over the space, and there are just so many pictures of him lining the wall with all these different administrations. He's put so many years and time and service into really making this something special for all of the people that have to go in and out of the White House every day. So, so then they ask her, do you notice anything out of the ordinary that stands out? And she says no. But they zoom in on the books because he did have his own personal like bookshelf in there. And he made a joke about, leaving the books there for her. He was like, girl, you wouldn't know what to do with them books no damn way. I don't trust you with them. So she says no, but I do think that there is something there that she may have noticed that nobody else will. All right. So Cordelia ends up going through his trash can, and she finds his personal handkerchief, like with his initials and stuff on it, and it's blood soaked. Okay, it's got all these different splotches of blood on it. So they end up going to go talk to the president because they're running out of time as far as like people leaving, right? And so she goes to talk to the president because the event is almost over. And he was like, no. These people gotta go. I can't hold them here. And so she was like, why not? Do you want me to just stand at the door and tell everybody that there's a dead man upstairs that y'all won't let me investigate? What if the person that did this is going to be walking out of here? He was like, well, you can just follow up with them tomorrow. How, Sway, when I'm not going to know who to follow up with? Make it make sense, Mr. President. Why are you trying so hard to... Okay, all right. So she gave him something to think about. He thought about it for 2 seconds and said, no, still. So he was like, I'm just going to tell everybody what's what. And then he's finna get ready to tell everybody good night, right? Finna wrap this event up. But then here come Lily talking about, we got a problem. So it turns out there is a leak in the room. Somebody is wearing a wire because everybody done found out that was at the event that there's a dead body upstairs. So people are panicking. They're trying to leave. They're trying to, get answers and all of that. So now he's got to play damage control. So he's trying to figure out what he's going to say. And again, she still wants to do her investigation. He's like, no, I don't really see this happening. So as he's finna get ready to open up the door, in walks the Australian diplomats. Now you got the Prime Minister Roos, and some more people. Okay, it's 2 more guys with them. Is a dignitary as a diplomat? Anyway, they're from Australia. Okay, now the relationship with Australia ain't been so great as of late. Okay, so they thought that this dinner was gonna try to make amends somewhat. But it ain't turning out so good. So as Prime Minister is trying to figure out what the hell is going on here, y'all, Cordelia keeps eyeing the guy to his right. And why in the world is she using binoculars, y'all? So she's using binoculars. The guy ends up looking at her a couple of times and he was like, I hate to be rude, but what is she doing? And so she was like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out why you have on A.B. Winter's shirt. So now the president has to reconsider. And he was like, oh, lock it down. Everybody staying. And that's the way that episode ends, y'all. It was pretty good. I don't want to cut it too close, so I'm just going to do this as a separate recording. And hopefully y'all will get episode 2 tonight as well. I know I got some work to do because Netflix has released the entire series. And I tell y'all that grinds my gears so bad because I want to give you good reviews versus just like skimming over everything. Because some things that we don't think are important will ultimately be important. So anyway, y'all. So that's that. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Okay, you can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. I love y'all. Okay, we're gonna be doing episode 2 tonight. Also coming down the pike because we're wrapping up 9 Bodies in the Mexican Morgue. I've got Will Trent, more episodes coming of that. Papa's House, we got to get caught up. The other shows that I'm doing, yeah. And then I'm going to be doing something else. Poker Face is coming back, y'all. Now, I don't know if y'all been watching that on Peacock because it's been gone for like 2 years. But when I tell y'all I love that show, I absolutely love that show. So I'm going to be doing season 1 as we build up to season 2 because season 2 is going to be premiering in May. So we're going to do all of the episodes leading up to that because honestly, I don't forgot most of the plot line. So this is going to be a refresher for me too. So if you have never seen Poker Face and you're kind of curious, then you can follow along with me. All right. I think they're showing season 1 now on Peacock. So if you want to skip ahead, by all means, go right ahead, y'all. But that's all I have for now. So until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Okay, y'all, real quick, because I had forgot to mention this earlier, that Giancarlo Esposito, I love him to death. He actually replaced Andre Breyer. So Andre was supposed to be playing the part of A.B. Winter. You know what? I just got that. Wow. A.B. Andre Breyer. So unfortunately, y'all remember he passed away, I want to say last year. Maybe 2 years ago. Let me look real quick. He passed away almost 2 years ago. So that's why so initially when I was looking this up, his picture was with the cast, but now it's gone. And so I was like, why do they have 2 A.B. Winters? And that's why. So they've replaced him since I guess it hit Netflix, which is crazy. Rest in peace to him. And then also I wanted to tell y'all, because I forgot to mention it, that Cordelia, when they went to the office, they went there to primarily go try to see if they could match his handwriting to that suicide note that they found. And it turns out, y'all, the handwritings didn't match. They did not match. So that suicide note is not his. So who wrote the note? But that's all I had to tell y'all. I had forgot it earlier, y'all. So y'all be great. I love y'all. And until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.